handicappers, they're all in the know.
Live on a Tuesday afternoon here where I am in Cleveland, Ohio, and wherever you are. Out in Vegas, it is 11 a.m., the heart of gambling. And, of course, this is Betting Weekly Hardball. I'm here with Chris Macero. Chris, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. Got a little bit of a comeback yesterday. I was on the Cubs. It was an ugly game. I know you're a Cubs fan. Horton comes out of the game with a blister. They leave the bases loaded after 3 walks.
Yep.
And the game just kind of spiraled out of control. Hopefully the Cubs can bounce back a little bit today because I'm going to be on the Cubs again. I'm kind of pot committed now against the Brewers. Eventually they're going to lose a couple games. I don't think they're going to go the rest of the way. 38-2. So we'll see what happens. But I'm in good spirits. I had the Rockies last night.
Yeah,
that was a nice one. That you watch it a bunch of times and you figure out that Dodgers going to score here. It's going to be over, and they never did. And good for the Rockies. They're kind of hot. It's 5 out of the last 6 or 6 out of the last 7, I believe. So good little run for the Rockies.
They do not want to have the worst record of all time, and they're playing like it right now. Maybe they can avoid that worst record of all time. I know you had a big week last week overall on the show, Betting Weekly Hardball. Everybody, all our contributors, all our professional handicappers and bettors, there's a lot of successful selections that help with the fans. You're never going to win all the time. That's part of gambling. If anybody was 100%, that would be something shady, but we as a show were way over 50% last week, so it was a great week overall. Of course, the show brought to you by Bet Rivers. Make sure you're using the Bet Rivers app for all your betting needs and all the Betting Weekly shows, including tennis and hoops. We got Betting Weekly Fast Break coming your way later. Actually, there is no Betting Weekly Fast Break today. Sorry, we're off today. But anyway, we got a lot of baseball to talk about on a Tuesday, full slate of games. And we will get to the Cubs and Brewers in a little bit because they were supposed to have a doubleheader yesterday. Second game got rained out, so they'll play a doubleheader instead today. But let's begin with the Astros and the Tigers, the start of a series yesterday. The Tigers winning again. Tigers had been playing bad baseball for a while after that great start, but they have righted the ship. They have built that big lead that had been taken down. They built it back up again, not all the way, but up 8.5 over Cleveland, 9 over Kansas City. They've won 7 of 9. Great pitching matchup. 2 of the best pitchers in baseball this year, certainly in Skubal's case, more than this year. But Hunter Brown, Tarek Skubal, that game is at 6:40. Brown has been great in August after struggling at the end of July for the first time all year, pitching against the Yankees in Boston in 3 starts, 4 earned runs in 19 innings. Skubal, meanwhile, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's actually in a slump. His 3 starts in August, he has a 4.82 ERA, 10 earned runs in 18 2/3. The difference, well, in his previous 11 starts, he'd given up a total of 3 home runs. In these 3 August starts, he's given up 4 home runs. What do you make of the first time in like 3 years, Tarek Skubal being in a little bit of a slump here?
Yeah, he really hasn't been the same since the All-Star game. Even in the All-Star game, he wasn't too sharp. He was, that was the game when they had the mics up and they were telling the announcers what pitches were coming. I'm not sure if he has a tight arm, he's tipping his pitches, but something is going on, especially with the long ball. And I couldn't trust him at this price. I don't have a play on this game. Hunter Brown, after a little bit of a rough patch in July, has come back strong in August. 19 innings pitched, 1.89 ERA in 3 starts. He's got great stats on the year. 10-5, 2.45 on the road, 2.62. Both of these pitchers are holding the opposing teams in check. Brown, 208 opposing batting average. Skubal, 218. But the price seems a little steep here for Skubal, who's only got a decision, only has 2 decisions in his last 7 starts. He's 1-1. The team is 5-2 in those games. But you're right, he hasn't pitched the same. It's not the same Skubal we saw the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I would lean Houston or pass here. I'm not going to play it because I don't like to play teams that lost the day before. So I'm just going to, Houston's got on a 2-game, little bit of a losing skid here. One guy that's hit Brown okay is Colt Keith, 3 for 7. But that's all I got in this game. I'm not going to play it. It looks a little expensive on Skubal based on the way he's pitched the last 3 starts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Tigers are playing well overall. What would you think about the under in this game?
I would think about maybe a Nerfy, because I
Yeah.
feel like Struble does pretty good in the he's gotten through the first inning. Brown's been really good in the first. I would look maybe towards a Nerfy. I just I don't think I'm going to get involved in the game.
All right.
I've been on Detroit a couple times with these Struble starts.
Yeah.
Expecting him to bounce back from a bad outing. I've got myself in a little bit of a quandary with them, so I'm just gonna steer clear of this game.
All right, Mariners and Phillies, 6:45 Eastern. The Mariners, remember, had won 8 in a row, but they lost again last night. So since their 8-game winning streak, they've dropped 5 of 6. Phillies won 3 of 4. Huge pitching edge for the Phillies in this one. Christopher Sanchez has been great for most of the year. Bryce Miller has been hurt for the last couple of months. Before he got hurt, he wasn't pitching particularly well. So are you leaning towards the Phillies? I would assume. Is it Phillies or nothing in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Phillies. I was on the Phillies last night. I didn't understand the line move at all. It was crazy. The Phillies were a pretty not sizable, but like -130, -140 favorite. The line crashed almost to like a pick 'em. And I'm looking last night. Kirby has rough stats on the road. Yeah, he pitched good against Baltimore. But I really thought the Phillies were the play last night. You also have to remember Seattle was at the Little League game, or the Sunday night Little League showcase thing, where they're on the road on Sunday night, and then they got to go on the road again. And that angle has been really strong over the last few years. The team playing on Sunday night, going on the road the next game. They usually don't have, for whatever reason, they don't have anything in the tank the next game. And you saw that early as Philly jumped out to a big lead and held on. They really poured it on in that game. So I'm going to be right back to Phillies. Sanchez, 11-4, 2.45 ERA. Even better at home, 5-0, 2.33. I'll tell you what, this guy in his last 13 starts, 11 of the 13, 2 earned runs or less, only 1 start above 3 earned runs, and it was only 4 earned runs he gave up. So he hasn't got racked at all in the last 13 starts. He's been rock solid. Phillies are great at home, 38-21, winners of 2 in a row. Seattle's lost 3 in a row. And Miller, only 10 starts this year, 5.73 ERA, even worse on the road, 6.38. I know the number's high. I'm going to lay it with the Phillies. Probably going to play a little parlay with them and the Yankees, as we'll get to that game later. But I really like the Phillies. I know it's a big number, but I'm strong on the Phillies. Everything's pointing their direction, especially against an opposing pitcher who, the Phillies lineup is going to hit this guy tonight. And Sanchez has just been probably their best pitcher all year.
Yeah. Along with Wheeler, but Wheeler's hurt right now. So, by the way, you talked about his home record, which is 5-0. He's made 5 starts at home, Christopher Sanchez. The Phillies 10 starts at home this year. The Phillies' record in those games is 9-1. So they do not lose when he pitches at home. And you gave those numbers. He's just been magnificent at home. He has 75 strikeouts and just 13 walks in 65 in Philly. I mean, that's insane numbers. So, yeah, there's no way to take the Mariners in this game. Let's get to the doubleheader, the Brewers and Cubs. We talked about it a little bit on yesterday's show when I was on with Wes. The first game of the doubleheader, Chad Patrick, who was supposed to pitch game 2 for Milwaukee, will pitch game 1 today. That game's starting in about 10 minutes. Matthew Boyd will be on the hill for the Cubs. In the second game, Brandon Woodruff against Jamison Tyone, who's been out for the last 6 weeks. He comes off the IL to make the start. We know Milwaukee, they won 14 in a row, then they lost, and they won again yesterday. So they've won 15 of 16. They have a 9-game lead over the Cubs. But you're pot committed to being against the Brewers here, huh?
Well, we got Boyd going. So, I mean, you just talked about some home stats. How about this guy, 9-0 at home? I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Nope.
And I'll tell you, Patrick, it's hopefully they can catch some Brewer pitcher that's, not lights out. I mean, the Brewers pitching staff, someone said yesterday that the Brewers have the 13 best, the whole staff, the bullpen starters of anyone in baseball. And I kind of believe it because they don't have many pitchers laying eggs, but hopefully they can get to Patrick today. And one guy that actually hits him great is Kyle Tucker, 3 for 3 versus Patrick. And now the reason I bring up Tucker is this guy is in a horrific slump. He's gone hitless in 8 of his last 12 games. He's only 5 for his last 43 at a 116 clip. But hopefully he sees Patrick well. Hopefully he breaks out of the slump.
Now just sorry to cut you off, Chris, but he's not in the lineup for this game.
Oh, he's not even in the lineup.
No, they decided that they're going to sit him for a few days to get his head cleared out.
Oh, that's crazy.
That kind of situation.
That's weird though. But against a guy he's never missed against, you maybe sit him the game 2. But well, that's interesting. Okay, but I'm still going to be on the Cubs.
Yeah.
I've been figured Boyd's been so strong at home. And, if there's one guy they can get to, hopefully it'll be Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, if the Cubs can't win this game against Milwaukee, I don't know. I mean, they got a massive pitching advantage. You talked about his home numbers. He's been absolutely – I mean, and it's kind of come out of nowhere. We did have somebody on the YouTube chat say, well, Boyd's got a 10 ERA lifetime against the Brewers from City by the Bay, but Matthew Boyd's been a totally different pitcher this year, or really since last year. Remember, he missed like 2 years. He came back with Cleveland at the end of last year, had 8 starts. He was great, and he's been great this year. For the last, year and change, this guy's been one of the best pitchers in baseball after kind of being a mediocre guy for most of his career. But you look at this year, he's only given up more than three earned runs in his start twice the whole season. Gave up 4 to Cincinnati on May 23rd. And gave up 5 to this Brewer team. He did on July 28th. So he didn't pitch well against the Brewers in that game on July 28th. That is the only time he's faced the Brewers this year. So I don't know. We'll see. It's a tough one with the second game. Is there anything you like in the second game, or would you wait to see what happens in the first game?
Oh, we're gonna definitely wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
You made a good point. If they can't win this game,
Yeah.
are they gonna get swept 5 games at home? I mean, this could be they could just get themselves knocked out of the playoffs. The Reds are starting to play better.
Yep.
Who knows? I mean, they've just been in I guess it's kind of impossible to hit as well as they were hitting earlier in the year. Like everyone was clicking, Tucker and Bush and PCA, and now no one's really stepping up. I actually listened to this game on the radio yesterday, and the Cubs announcers were just like begging some of the marquee players on the team to step up, and it just hasn't happened.
It needs to happen, but you're right, absolutely right, it hasn't. All right, let's keep moving here. Yankees and Rays. They didn't play yesterday, a 2-game series, which you don't have a lot of 2-game series these days. 7:35 Eastern start. Carlos Rodon, who's pitched, mostly well this year. Shane Baz. The Rays. Both teams are playing better. Both teams have been slumping for a while. The Yanks have won 5 of 6. Was against the Twins and Cardinals, who both stink, but still. And the Rays have won 4 of 6. So you have 2 teams had been slumping, but have been good for the last week. But you've got something you really like in this game.
Well, it's the ultimate of ultimate Malinsky specials. The Tampa Bay Rays are coming back from a 12-game road trip. They have not played a home game since August 3rd.
Wow.
This is due to the fact that they were on the west coast of Florida, and they got the rain all the time during the afternoon. So they try to massage their schedule where it was front heavy with all the home games. And, that means they have to go on the road for this ridiculous road trip. So the ultimate of Malinsky specials, and I like the fact that you got Rodon pitching for the Yankees. He's been a model of consistency, and Baz has been absolutely horrific at home with a 6.5 ERA at that Yankees, the Yankees facility down there in Tampa. So Yankees are comfortable there. That's where they play their spring training games. They're coming, they're playing better now. They're hitting better. They're on a little bit of a win streak. So I really like this. It's an auto play no matter what because it's a Malinsky special, but I like it even more due to the fact you get Rodon, who's, just a quality pitcher. He's been probably, definitely their most consistent pitcher all year, starting to hit better. I think the price is kind of cheap here. I expect it to be a little bit higher price. I parlayed the Yankees and the Phillies together today. So that's the ones I really like. I really like that. I really like that Philly game. And with this Malinsky special, on the road that many days, they do get the benefit of the day off, like you mentioned. But I still think, when you're on the road that long, you come back after 2 weeks, things aren't clicking as usual. And I really like the Yankees in this spot.
City by the Bay is against you on this one. He likes the Rays over 3.5 team total -120. He points out that Rodon is a 5 ERA in his career against the Rays, and the ballpark is very hitter friendly. I like the over in this game. I think there's gonna be a lot of runs scored in this game.
Okay, listen, Rodon has pitched against this current lineup. He's 8 for 46. So what he did 7 years ago against the Tampa Bay batters is is rather irrelevant again. Although I mentioned that last time, and he was right because he had over Nationals over Lugo there last week, which was very painful game when they come all the way back to tie the game, and they still end up losing. When they were down, what was it, 4-0 in the first inning or something crazy. But we'll see. I just think Rodon's been pretty solid. And when you're gone for 2 weeks, some things just seem not to go the right way. So, hey, we can both win. Tampa can score 4 runs, and the Yankees can still win.
That's
the game.
true. That's absolutely possible. All right, folks. Let me tell you about this. If you're enjoying what you're hearing here on all the Betting Weekly shows, including Betting Weekly Hardball, sign up for our newsletter. Get exclusive tips and a free insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Thomas Maggio is with you here, Chris. He says in the YouTube chat that the Yankees are going to win. Very confident that the Yankees will win tonight. All right, next game on the docket, the Rangers and the Royals, 7:40 Eastern. Nice pitching matchup, Merrill Kelly and Seth Lugo. The Royals, like the Tigers in their division, have gotten hot here. They've won 4 in a row in 6 of 7. Texas going the other way. Texas, one of the biggest disappointments this season. They seem to be righting the ship right after the trade deadline, but now they've lost 9 of 11, including falling to Kansas City. Merrill Kelly's pitched well overall, but, man, hard to have a lot of faith right now, Chris, in the Texas Rangers, who seem to be falling out of playoff contention.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem with the Rangers is they can't win a road game. They're 13 games under 500, 25-38. But I'm not going to back Lugo because something's up with Lugo. We backed him last week, and he gave up a grand slam in the first inning. Like the game we just mentioned, they fought all the way back only to lose. They couldn't get out of the extra inning part of the game. So, anyways, Lugo just the last couple starts, he's 8 innings, 15 hits, 13 earned runs, 4 home runs, plus 6 walks. So something's off. Either it's he's injured or tired arm or tipping his pitches. So I can't really get behind Kansas City, even though they have won 4 in a row, and I do like to play streaks. One guy that has 4 home runs versus Kelly is Yastrzemski, 10 of 46, 4 home runs. He also has 4 home runs since the trade deadline for the Royals. So if you're into a home run prop, that might be the guy to look for. But I don't have a play on this game. I would be on Kansas City with the streak, but I've been on Lugo his last 2, and it's been awful.
Lugo, going into the All-Star breaks, Lugo's ERA was 2.67. His ERA now, a month later, roughly 3.77. I mean, that's a huge fall. His 6 starts, so you just gave the last 2, which have been particularly awful. But even if you go back 6 starts since the All-Star break, he's given up 25 runs in, let's see, quick math, 12, 7, 23, 29, 30 and a third innings. He's given up 25 runs since the All-Star break. I mean, that's absolutely awful. And his last 2 starts, which you mentioned, not even against good teams, against Washington and Minnesota. And so there's no excuse. He got killed by the Marlins also in July. And the Braves, he had a bad game too, another bad team.
He was one of the guys that was guaranteed every game to go over the 17.5 out prop. He'd always go 6 innings. He was just a solid guy. So something's definitely off. And even though Casey's got maybe an over in this game, although Kelly's been pitching, Kelly's a pretty solid pitcher too. And I don't it's tough to bet over in Kansas City games. Their lineup gets bogged down a little bit. But I'm just going to steer clear of this one. Something's up with Lugo, and I'll just let it breathe and see how he does tonight.
All right, let's take a look at the other games on the docket that we didn't get in depth on, but we'll talk about now. By the way, the first game of the Brewers-Cubs doubleheader is just about to get underway. Looks like they're about to throw first pitch at Wrigley Field. So we'll keep you up to date on that. But the other games, let's talk about the Cardinals and Marlins, 6:40 Eastern, Michael McGreevy and Edward Cabrera. Anything there for you?
I mean, it feels like an under game. I don't know. The McGreevy's tough to trust. 4-2, 4.41 ERA. He has been good on the road, 2-0 with a 3 ERA, but he's only pitched 8 starts, so I'm not really sure what to make of him. Cabrera, pretty solid at home, 2.86. Opponent's only batting 176, small sample size, 6
Yeah.
for 28 with 1 home run. It just feels like an under. I don't have a play on the game, but I would probably lean under. I know it's only 7.5, but you know, the Cardinals kind of broke it open last night late, but this was a low scoring game. They got one in the seventh, one in the eighth, and 3 in the ninth. So it was kind of low scoring before they broke it open. I lean under, but I don't have a play on the game yet.
Blue Jays Pirates. Obviously, the Blue Jays are the best record in the American League. They've been playing great baseball. Until the last 2 games, they have lost 2 in a row, including losing to the Pirates in the battle of LSU starters yesterday with Skeens against Gossman. Tonight, it's the vet Max Scherzer, who's been solid, pitched well in a game I was at in Toronto against the Cubs, facing Mitch Keller, another guy, who has struggled since the All-Star break. Since the break for Keller, he's given up, in his last 5 starts, he's given up 19 earned runs in 28 innings. Not good.
Yeah, I was on that under the Cubs, Blue Jays, Max Scherzer's last start. He pitches exceptionally well during the day. It's just a weird thing. I went back like the last 5 years, never has a bad outing during the day. He's really locked in. So that one came through. Tonight, I would have to play Pittsburgh or pass. Pittsburgh's a really solid home team, 35-29. Keller's solid at home. You know, he doesn't have the run support, so the record's not there, but he's 3.89 ERA. He's handled the batters in the Toronto lineup to a tune of 233. So I would be Pittsburgh a pass, and sometimes these losing streaks, they lose 2 in a row. They go to 5. Too bad the Red Sox can't, get their ship righted either, because they lost 2 in a row and blew a horrible game Sunday. So the lead is still 5 over both the Yankees and the Red Sox. But I have a feeling that Toronto might slip a little bit here. Scherzer's given them, I think, more than expected. I mean, he's pitched really well, like you said, but it would have to be Pirates a pass here, just due to the fact that they play well at home, and Toronto is an under 500 team on the road.
You got the Mets and Nats, 6:45 Eastern in Washington. Jake Irvin for Washington got off to a good start, but he's been bad the second half. David Peterson for the Mets, another guy who hasn't pitched well after a good start against 2 anemic lineups in Atlanta and Cleveland. He's given up 10 earned runs and 9 1/3 in his last 2 starts. 7 walks in those 9 1/3. He's been terrible. What do you maybe an over in this game?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing people talking about over in this game this morning. If this game was at Citi Field, I would be on the Mets, because Peterson is a different pitcher at home than he is on the road. And I just don't want to – I'm not going to back Irvin because, like you said, he's been in rough shape. But for some reason, he's got a pretty big sample size against this Mets lineup, 23 for 116 to a tune of 198 average. So I'm pausing on it. I want to be on the Mets. I feel like they've been in the doldrums for the last a month or so, and they're going to get hot at some point. I talked to a Mets fan last night, and he was like, all these other teams are peaking early. The Mets are going to peak in September and October. And I told him, I gave him a little chuckle, but he might be right. Who knows? Red Sox had a hot streak. The Brewers are on fire. Toronto had a hot streak. So you got to just be hot at the right time. And, maybe the Mets will get hot in September. But I'm not going to play them because they're dreadful on the road, 25-34. They're one of the teams that just seems to only win at home. And Peterson much better at home than on the road. So this is a stay away from me.
All right. Speaking, you mentioned the Red Sox before. They're hosting the Orioles tonight. Walker Buehler's had obviously a terrible season after his great pitching in the postseason last year. He's been terrible this season for the most part. He pitched better in July into early August. His last start, not good. 4 runs, 8 base runners in 6 innings against Houston. He'll be on the hill against Sagano and the Orioles. Any play for you in that one?
The only thing I would play in this game is over. Last night, I just kicked myself. I didn't want to go against the Red Sox. I'm still pulling for them to somehow close the gap in the division. I really like Orioles team total over, and I didn't pull the trigger, and I just could feel it. I just knew the way the Rogers was pitching so well lately that I didn't think the Red Sox were going to put up much offense, and they didn't. And sure enough, the Orioles did go over their team total tonight. I guess I would kind of lean over because you figure this Red Sox lineup's going to start clicking at some point. They had, like I said, a hot stretch. They've been kind of quiet lately, and Buehler has not been great, giving up big home runs at Fenway, 4.35 ERA at Fenway. So I would lean over. I don't have a play in the game though.
All right. It's hard. It's hard, especially if if you root for a team, you never know when that's going to get in your way of making a pick. It's always a possibility, which is why I try to stay away from picking games involving the Cubs for me. White Sox and Braves, a battle of bad teams. Although the Braves had a nice weekend sweeping Cleveland. Shane Smith obviously got off to a great start this year. Still has had a very solid season. Facing Bryce Elder. Elder pitched a decent game against the Mets his last time out after he'd gotten smoked by Miami the start before that. This would be a hard game to watch. Will you have a play in this one?
I don't have a play, but it would definitely be White Sox or pass. You're gonna get the plus money. How could you possibly lay 175 with the Atlanta? First off, how are the Braves favored by minus 175?
That is crazy.
Even if like last night's line, I'm kicking myself on this one because I don't bet teams going in opposite streaks. And last night we had, White Sox won 4 in a row. Braves had won 5. I mean, White Sox had lost 4 in a row. Braves had won 5 in a row. So I'm like, I can't bet the White Sox. But like the line was absurd. Strider was minus like 250. I mean,
nuts.
I mean, if Strider was pitching tonight, I wouldn't bet the Braves minus 175. And who's pitching? Elder, 5-9, 5.89. Atrocious at home, 2-4, 6.66. I mean, this is a crazy line, and this is 100% White Sox to pass. I will probably play this game later. I want to see if I can get a better number than plus 133. This line makes no sense. I mean, the Braves aren't a good team.
No, the Braves are. I feel like still being treated as if they're at least okay, where the White Sox are being treated as they're awful, which they should, but the Braves are awful too. So I don't know. All right, let's hit the Athletics and the Twins here. And I know you have something you like in this game. Joe Ryan, obviously one of the big names who did not get traded at the deadline. Jacob Lopez has been a guy who are completely off the radar. If you're a casual baseball fan, you probably have no clue who he is. He's had a couple of really bad starts. So if you look at his total numbers, they don't look amazing. But it's like he has 4 great starts and then there's one terrible one. But when he's on. He gets a lot of strikes. His last 4 starts, 24 innings, 28 strikeouts, no earned runs, no runs, period, and only 14 hits allowed.
Yeah, it's pretty. You stole my thunder there. That was the stat line. I mean, it's
sorry.
the guy's been lights out, and he's very under the radar. He's a strikeout machine. He early in the season, when people weren't paying attention, he was going over a strikeout prop every time. And then matched up with them, you got Joe Ryan, who's 12-5, 2.72, solid at home, 3.03 ERA. So this game screams under to me. It's 8.5. It seems a little high. I can't believe maybe they're just. They're banking on the A's bats. They get a lot of home run power, a lot of pop. But in Minnesota, I don't really see it. That's not exactly the launching pad that is the Sacramento A's stadium. So I'm going to play under 8.5 here. As you mentioned, Lopez has been lights out last 4 starts. And it's not like he's overworking. He's only averaging 6 innings per the start. So hopefully they can match scoreless innings here. I might even look at a Nerfy in the first inning as well.
Speaking of Nerfies, if you're hoping to get a Nerfy in the Brewers-Cubs game, you have a shot. The Brewers went 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Michael Busch flied out to start the bottom of the first. Ian Happ just doubled, though. So runner on second, 1 out in the bottom of the first of that game. Dodgers and Rockies. You talked about having the Rockies yesterday. Will you double down with Austin Gomber tonight?
He's so bad. It's like I was going through my stuff this morning. I'm like, who's pitching for the Rockies? Who's pitching for the Rockies? It's Gomber. The guy just hasn't recorded a win yet the whole season.
No.
0-6, 6.75, and 11 starts. And the Dodgers hit him pretty well. 290 with 6 home runs. Ohtani has 2 against him. Freeman has 2 against him. So I'm not going to play the Dodgers, definitely not, because I'm not going to play a team on a losing streak. And I'm not going to get into, Colorado 4 in a row. Maybe they can keep it going. Finally got their 20th win at home. Amazing. It took until almost the end of August to pull that off. But I'm not a big fan of Sheehan either. And the reason why, it's not that he's not a good pitcher. It's that he only goes a maximum of 5 innings. And when you're only pitching 5 innings, that means the Dodgers bullpen's coming in. We all know what that means. They're not very good. And, weird things happen. So Sheehan in 7 starts, only 5 innings max, sometimes 4 innings. So there's going to be a lot of bullpen in this game. it might be an over game. 12's a lot. I have all day to figure out if I'm going to be playing this game, but I definitely won't be laying 305 with the Dodgers. But I might try to get creative some other different ways. See if we can get something going, maybe with an over, or maybe a home run prop, or maybe some total bases props with Ohtani and Freeman.
Gomber also doesn't go deep into games. He's only gone in his 11 starts, in which the Rockies are 3-8 in his 11 starts. He's only gone more than 5 innings twice, 5 2/3 against the Cardinals on July 21st, and 6 innings against the Diamondbacks on August the 8th. And not surprisingly, they lost both of those games. All right.
That's because he's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, he's horrible and they're horrible. It's a bad combination. All right, here's a game. I know you got something you're interested in. The Reds, the Reds, who hold the distinction as the team in the majors with the best record that would currently not be in the playoffs at 66-60, play the Angels, who have basically the reverse record, 60-65. Hunter Green's been hurt for a lot of this season, but we know how good a pitcher he is. What is it that you like in this game, Reds Angels?
Well, there's a lot of things I like in this game, and one of them is definitely going to be the Reds. I feel like they just needed. They had a bunch of tough games. They just battle with Milwaukee. They could have swept the series. They end up only getting one game. Now they're on the West Coast. I was a little nervous about the game last night, but they got the job done, and now they're running out Hunter Green, who had a great start against the Phillies, a tough hitting lineup, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 6 Ks. So hopefully they stretch him out even maybe another inning. But even if they don't, I still like, and I don't know if you want to do a ladder or ladder up the K prop, but you can get 8 Ks is even money. But you're going against an Angels team who leads the league in strikeouts. And they're number one most strikeouts, 1,220 strikeouts, 55 more than the second closest team, which is the Rockies. So this team is just, it's all or nothing. It's swing for the fences.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Green could have a big night. You could maybe get up to 10 strikeouts. It's plus 300. And I don't like Hendricks, especially, he has really rough stats against this Reds batting order. 26 for 74, 338 clip. Couple of guys that really hit him well. If you're looking at some player props, Brian Hayes, 9 for 21, 2 home runs, 429 average. And Miguel Andujar, 5 for 6. So 2 guys that see him really well. And I feel like Green's going to have a big night. Just a perfect combination. The type of pitcher he is versus the type of swingers that go for the fences every single time up. If you look at the Angels lineup, they got a lot of guys, low 200s, high 100 averages. Yes, they have a lot of home runs, but they just swing for the fences every single time. And that amounts to a lot of strikeouts. Perfect combination tonight for Green.
All right. There's no way you can bet the Angels in this one. And you talk, man, if Key Brian Hayes has great numbers against you, that's maybe time to hang it up if you're Kyle Hendricks. Guardians and Diamondbacks at 9:40 Eastern. Guardians ended their losing streak yesterday with Gavin Williams pitching pretty well. Tanner Bybee, who's had a very disappointing season this year, against Eduardo Rodriguez, who's had a bad season this year. What do you make of this game in Arizona tonight, 9:40?
I don't have a play on it, but this one screams over to me. Erod, I don't know what happened to him this season. It's almost been a lost season for him. He hasn't got anything going, no consistency. And as you mentioned, Bybee's been just as awful. So 2 teams that are probably just playing. I know the Guardians kind of got a little close, but then they got swept this past weekend.
Yep.
And kind of gave some breather room to the Red Sox and Yankees. I'm not sure where this Guardian team's going. I kind of think there was just a little fluky stretch where they caught fire for a couple of weeks after all the allegations with Class A and, guys going on the disabled list. And I just, I don't know. I just feel like this game could be just maybe like a little shootout. Sometimes that ballpark in Arizona has a tendency for games to go over. I haven't played it yet, but I would lean over in this game.
I'm with you, too. I like the over. It was a low-scoring game yesterday. I don't like either pitcher today, so I'm with you on the over on that one. Final game of the day, the Giants and the Padres, 9:40 Eastern. It will be K.Y. Tang for the Giants. He's been absolutely awful in his limited I think he's made 2 starts. And Nick Pivetta, who's been excellent, obviously, for San Diego. Padres are past, although the Giants have ended their losing streak with 2 wins in a row. The
Yeah,
Padres have been bad this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not going to lay it with the Padres, but if the Padres don't win this game, they should just cancel the season. And I'm telling you, if this weekend was not the most Padres-esque
Oh, yeah.
performance, I mean, it's just a typical lay an egg Padres big game situation. Manny Machado can't get out of his own way. Manny Machado, for all the money he makes and as flamboyant and as cocky as he is, the guy just never seems to come up with a big hit in a big situation. End of the game on Sunday. He had so many opportunities all day in that game, just couldn't get a big hit, striking out in huge situations. But to your point, these two pitchers, Tang and Pivetta, just pitched against each other last week. Padres jumped out to a huge 6-0 lead after the second inning, and the game was over. Pivetta's been the bright spot in the pitching and the starting rotation for the Padres all year. And if the Padres just can get a little bit of a lead on Tang, they have the Pivetta and then the bullpen to shut him down. But it's a huge number, and I'm not going to bet it just because they're on this dreadful 4-game losing streak. And what I've seen from this team, it seems like, they're right there. They have the lead in the division. And then just to fall flat like they did, I'm not sure what it took out of them. And I'm sure the Giants would love to play spoiler the rest of the way for the guys down south in San Diego. So not going to play it. I would expect the Padres to win. Maybe you play a team total over, but I'm just not going to lay the number just to get skid right now.
All right. Yeah, I don't blame you with that one. Get extra value this summer with prop packs exclusively at Bet Rivers. Opt into the prop packs promotion for your chance to earn profit boosts, bonus credits, and more when you place MLB same-game parlays. See the Bet Rivers app for full details and tear into the action. Update Wrigley Field. The Brewers just made, I don't know if they're scoring in an error. They probably should. So bottom of the first, Cubs have the bases loaded, 2 outs. Cubs did have a runner on third with nobody out. An error now just kept, it is an error on the first baseman. So bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom one with the rookie Owen Casey will come to the plate here. Thanks to Alex and Chris for producing today. Before we wrap up, Chris, give us the recap of your best bets of the day, including the Phillies in a parlay with the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm going Phillies. I just think the matchup sets up perfectly. Sanchez has been amazing at home, and we're going with the Yankees because Tampa's coming back. It's that Malinsky special 12-game massive road trip, their first game home since then. I'm going to play the Reds. I'm going to play some concoction of some K props with Hunter Green. I'm going to look at some hitter props with Cabrian and Andujar, and we'll see how it goes. I got this Cubs game going right now as well. So we knew what happened when we got bases loaded yesterday. Nothing happened. Hopefully they scratch a few across.
Well, yeah, I think Casey was up yesterday with the bases loaded, and he struck out. He's up now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. We'll keep everybody through this half inning, see what happens, and then we'll wrap things up. Chad Patrick still pitching, and Casey rips it into right field for a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and the Cubs take the lead on rookie Owen Casey in his 3rd major league game. A 2-run single to right off Chad Patrick. 2-0 Cubs.
Oh, it's nice to see the Cubs with the lead after yesterday. A bunch of goose eggs, and it was a pretty amazing start. I mean, there was only one. Suzuki got a hit in the first, then they got 3 walks in the 4th. Or the 5th, and he only gave up one. Peralta only gave up one hit the whole game, and he pitched so well.
Yeah,
and bullpen comes in and just goose eggs. So it's nice to see the Cubs get up early. Hopefully they can maintain the lead, and we'll have a winner right off the bat.
There you go. Thanks to everybody in the chat. For Chris, I'm Adam. We'll talk to you next time on Betting Weekly Hardball. See you, everybody.